CM Punk came to WrestleMania 42 talking about legacy, talking about destiny, talking about how this was finally going to be his moment, his WrestleMania, the night the best in the world finally slayed the tribal chief for good, and Roman Reigns looked him dead in the eye, and broke him. Not figuratively, not metaphorically. I mean, they literally rolled CM Punk out of that stadium on a stretcher and loaded him into the back of an ambulance while the crowd stood there in stunned silence. Some fans were booing, some were crying, some just couldn't believe what they had witnessed. And I need you right now to drop everything, because what happened at WrestleMania 42 is the most controversial, most brutal, most polarizing finish in the history of that event. And if you think you already know the full story, you don't. Because the stuff that happened before the bell, during the match, and after that ambulance drove away tells a story that WWE does not want people to connect the dots on. Stay with me, because this video goes deep. Segment 1, the build-up why this match meant everything. Let's rewind, because context is everything here. CM Punk's return to WWE was supposed to be one of the greatest comebacks in professional wrestling history, and for a while, it was. The crowd reactions were nuclear. The promos were sharp as a razor. Punk looked like a man on a mission. He had something to prove, and everybody from the locker room to the fans to the executives knew it. But Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns doesn't care about your comeback story. The tribal chief had been operating at an entirely different level. The Bloodline saga had already cemented him as arguably the greatest character in WWE history. Championships, dominance, mind games, Paul Heyman whispering in his ear. Roman had turned being a villain into a form of art. And every single person who stepped up to challenge him had eventually been swallowed whole by that machine. The question wasn't whether Punk could beat Roman. The question was whether Roman would allow him to. And that distinction? That is what made WrestleMania 42 so unbearably tense from the opening week of build. These two men despise each other in a way that even the most seasoned wrestling fans recognized felt different. There was real edge behind every promo exchange. Every time Punk grabbed a microphone and started listing Roman's insecurities, the part-time schedule, the protected booking, the politics, you could see something flicker in Roman's eyes that went beyond performance. This wasn't just a match. This was a reckoning. Segment 2, the night itself, WrestleMania 42 atmosphere. WrestleMania 42. The stadium is packed. The pyro is going off. The energy in that building is the kind that makes the hair on your arms stand up even through a screen. And then CM Punk's music hits. The reaction is enormous. A wall of sound. Punk walks out looking like a man who has been waiting his entire career for this exact moment. No theatrics. No pyro of his own. Just that slow, deliberate walk. That gaze locked straight ahead. The best in the world chants start rolling through the stadium in waves. And then Roman's music. The boos. Oh, the boos. Beautiful, thunderous, hateful boos that Roman Reigns has weaponized into his entire identity. He walks out with that slow, arrogant confidence, Paul Heyman clutching the undisputed title, the lei around Roman's neck, and that look on his face that says he has already won and Punk just doesn't know it yet. The stare down at the center of the ring is legitimately one of the most electric moments WrestleMania has ever produced. The referee checks both men. The crowd is on its feet. Every single person in that stadium knows something historic is about to happen. And then the bell rings. Segment 3, the match brutal, physical, masterful. I want to be very clear about something this match delivered. Whatever you think about the finish, whatever controversies we're going to get into, the in-ring work between Roman Reigns and CM Punk at WrestleMania 42 was a masterclass. Punk came out aggressive. He wasn't playing defense. He got in Roman's face from the opening seconds, throwing strikes, working the arm, trying to dismantle the spear by targeting Roman's shoulder early. Smart wrestling. Punk wrestling. The kind of calculated, methodical offense that reminds you why he was the best in the world at his peak. Roman, for his part, was patient, terrifyingly patient, like a predator watching prey tire itself out. He absorbed punishment, then started making Punk pay for every second of it. The power offense started landing. The ring work was stiff. This was not a choreographed ballet, this looked like a fight. The crowd swung back and forth with every momentum shift. Punk locks in the Anaconda Vice, the stadium erupts. Roman powers out, massive groan. Roman hits a Superman punch, huge pop from the Roman loyalists. Punk rolls through into a GTS attempt, the place goes absolutely berserk. Near fall after near fall. Kick out after kick out. Both men bleeding, exhausted, running on nothing but pride and hatred. And then the bloodline gets involved. Now here is where the conversation gets divisive. Because depending on which side of the fence you sit on, what happened next is either genius storytelling or the most infuriating decision WWE has made in years. And I'll tell you right now, the comments section on this video is going to be a war zone, so let me know where you stand, because I genuinely want to hear from you. Segment 4, the finish, the moment everyone is talking about. Punk has Roman down. He's climbing the ropes. The GTS is coming. The crowd is at fever pitch. This is it. This is the moment. And Solo Sikoa slides into the ring. The referee is distracted by another Bloodline member on the apron. Solo catches Punk coming off the ropes with a spike. Punk drops like a stone. Roman crawls over. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns wins. The stadium divided in seconds. Half the crowd absolutely losing their minds in rage, hurling boos so loud you could feel them through the broadcast. The other half the Roman faithful celebrating what they believed was the inevitable. And then it gets worse. Roman doesn't let it end there. He calls for the Bloodline to continue. Punk is down, barely conscious, and the assault continues. Chairs. Steel steps. A brutal, sustained beatdown that the referee and officials can't stop because there are simply too many of them. It is an absolute massacre. And this is the moment that broke the internet in half. A stretcher is brought out. Medical personnel flood the ring. And in front of 80,000 people and millions watching at home, CM Punk, a man who came back from career-threatening injury, who sacrificed everything for this moment, is loaded onto that stretcher, slid into the back of an ambulance, and driven away. The camera holds on Roman Reigns standing in the ring, title raised, Paul Heyman weeping tears of joy beside him, as the ambulance's red and white lights fade into the Wrestlemania night. Cut to black. Segment 5, The Reaction and Why It Matters. Within 20 minutes, #Justice for Punk was trending worldwide. The wrestling internet divided along lines so sharp you'd think people were debating something far more serious than sports entertainment. On one side, the people who believed this was storytelling perfection. Roman Reigns as the ultimate villain, protected and dominant, the machine that cannot be beaten because the machine cheats and schemes and has infinite resources. The ambulance spot as a callback to decades of wrestling tradition, the ambulance match, the idea that this isn't over, that Punk will return hungry and broken and more dangerous. On the other side, the people who are absolutely furious. CM Punk fans who feel like this was yet another moment stolen from their guy. People who argue that Punk losing like this via bloodline interference, beaten down after the bell, loaded into an ambulance, is insulting to everything he represents. That WWE had their chance to do something truly historic by letting Punk win at WrestleMania 42 and they blinked. And honestly, both sides make compelling arguments. That's what great wrestling does. It makes you feel something real. But here's my take, and you can flame me in the comments all you want. I'll be reading every single one of them. Roman Reigns winning dirty, with help, in the most cynical and brutal way possible? That was the right call. Not because Punk doesn't deserve a WrestleMania moment. He absolutely does. But because the story isn't over. The ambulance wasn't a burial. The ambulance was a promise. Roman Reigns just signed his own death warrant, because now when CM Punk comes back, and he will come back, the crowd reaction is going to be so far beyond anything we've ever seen that no building on earth will be able to contain it. The best wrestling stories don't end at WrestleMania. They start there. Outro call to action. But that's just my read on it. Here's what I need from you right now. Comment below one word. That's it. Just one word that describes how you felt watching that ambulance drive away. I'm going to read every single one. I'm going to pin the most interesting ones. And if this video gets enough engagement, I am doing a full deep dive into what comes next for CM Punk and whether Roman's reign can survive what's coming. If you're new here, welcome to Ring Rumble 1. We don't do casual takes on this channel. We go all the way in, every single time. Subscribe. Hit the bell. You do not want to miss what we have coming next. WrestleMania 42 just changed everything. And we are just getting started. Roman Reigns defeats CM Punk, WrestleMania 42. There's your script. A few notes on how it's built to maximize engagement. The hook opens with confrontation and emotion, no warm-up, straight into the visceral moment. Segment 3 validates both pro-Roman and pro-Punk fans so neither camp feels alienated before the payoff. That comment one-word call to action at the end is a low-friction engagement driver that tends to generate massive comment volume. The promise of a follow-up video incentivizes the subscribe and notification bell. Let me know if you want a different tone, a longer version, or on-screen text / B-roll cues added.